Okay. Here we go. Nice big warm up, big breath in, reach up and let it out. Always good to start. Remembering how to breathe. Inhale, exhale. This time we'll hold it up and start stretching through the sides. Doesn't matter if you just rolled out of bed or you're getting up from your desk for a day at a desk. Stretching out the body is always a good thing. And let's circle it out. Waking up the shoulders. We have another one of my favorite workouts today. Funny, over the years, there are a few that have become my favorites, and I'm sure there are a few that have become your favorites. So this is one of mine. 2. Do 2 more. Make them nice and big. Pull those shoulder blades together. And then roll your shoulders. Maybe let's shimmy them out one at a time. Make sure one side feels just as good as the other. And shake it out. Two more. Let's take it down to the hips, popping it out side to side. And nice big circles. And reverse direction. And figure eights. Just find those sticking points, see if you can work through them, stretch into them, take your time with them. And reverse. Just because we all need a brain teaser at some point during our day, right? It's early, consider it done. Taking it down to the knees, checking in with your ankles, with your feet. You can move all your toes, that you can roll across the ball of your feet. Feeling the edges of your feet. Heel. Always where I lose connections, where a lot of people lose connection with the feet. So let's take our feet nice and wide. Go side to side. You want to keep the outside of your foot down on the ground as we stretch it out. And hold it there. This time, I know I always tell you to sit back into your heel and sink down. I want you to push forward into your knee if it doesn't hurt. Let's see if you can get a little bit more calf stretch there. Make it dynamic, keep it moving. You don't have to hold it. Don't ever go into pain if it bothers your knee, don't do it. And let's go over to the other side. Same thing, waking up that calf, a little bit of a dynamic calf stretch. Nice. And then come back to center and sink it down and shift your weight side to side. Knees are going in line with your toes. Again, you shouldn't be feeling it in your knees. You might feel it in your hips. You might feel it in your inner thigh, in the groin area. Let's see if we can sink down just a little bit lower. Put those hips down. They don't have to go lower than your knees, but see if you can. Find what your range is. And then come back to center. Hands on the floor. Let's do 5 bottoms up. We're going to hold this first one because that stretch feels so good. And then let's sink those hips down and come on up for 2, down, up for 3, down, up for 4, down, up for 5. Hold it here, hold it onto your elbows. Keep your elbows over to your right knee. Let your head, neck, and shoulders feel heavy. Stretch down the back of your right leg. And then gently and slowly come over to your left side. Don't get dizzy on me. And let your upper body feel heavy. Stretch down the left leg. Bring your hands onto your knees, come back to center, roll it up. Roll your shoulders, let's bring our feet together. Let's hug our knees in. And reach and pull, let's do some butt kicks. Before we started recording, I was saying how cold it is here, so we're getting warm. Okay, let's take our arms out, alternate, reach for your toes, reach for your shins, reach for your knees, whatever you can get to. And then let's do a little bit of core. So let's reach up towards one corner, take one foot out, and chop across your body like you're trying to pop a balloon on your knee. Front leg is holding all your weight. So your back leg that's moving can be nice and light. I've lost count, so let's go over to the other side. Let's set it up. So all your weight's on that standing leg. Everything else is moving nice and light, getting that crunch, ribs to hips. One more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty. Bring your feet underneath your hips. Let's prance it out. Keep working on those ankles. And then let's do some ankle wiggles. Nice balance. Keep going. And turn, and let's do those hacky sack kicks. We have a rear foot elevated split squat in this first set. So we'll get our ankles nice and warm. Good job. Moving from the ankles, holding onto your balance. Let's rotate from the hip and lift. And just check in how your hips are feeling. We're going, taking the up, out, and around, finding the edge of your range of motion. Up, back, and around. If you need to hold on, hold on. I'm a little wobbly too. If your hips are feeling okay, this could be your balance challenge. If your hips are a little tight, hold on and use this as a chance to try to loosen anything up that needs to be loosened up. Do one more. Just for grins, check in if you just got to your wall, just check in what the other feels like. And you don't have to worry about your balance. Okay, let's shake it out. Our first set this morning, we have windmills, which is shoulder stability. You can go as heavy as you're comfortable. It's whole body, it's core, and shoulder stability. Just be careful lifting above your head. And then we're going to do our split squats, which again, you can go heavy. It's all leg strength. Think of it as, you can think of it as ski preparation, right? We want our legs to be nice and strong. Hiking preparation, we're getting ready for next year, starts now. And then we're going to do, excuse me, a push-up to a side plank. So, and we'll go through 3 sets of these, see how they feel, and make modifications as we need to. Weights up or down, reps up or down. It's your workout. So for the windmills, grab a weight. And take your feet wider than your shoulders and angle them away from the hand that's holding the weight. So if it's my right hand, my toes are left, but my body's not turning. Remember, these are the ones where we have to pretend we're Egyptians and your body is facing one way, your legs are going the other way. They're going to rack the weight, pull it up, suck that shoulder down so that you have that space there. I won't set you up like this every single time, but I want us to get it right. You want this arm to be a post, and we're going to pretend we're between two panes of glass. And we can only pop our hip out to the side and bend to the side. So we're not going forwards, we're not flopping backwards. Good. 2. So we're going to do about 8 on each side. Make sure your hip is moving. Good. So it should feel a little challenging to keep that weight up there. Your arm might be getting a little shaky. That's why I was saying be careful with the weight you choose and want to fall on your head. So let's go to side 2. Your feet can be in the same place. Just flip your feet around. Switch your hands, lift it up, and come on down. I always think this feels a little bit like going into triangle pose. Good. And if you bend your knees, it's not the end of the world. I just want to see that hip popping out and popping in. It's all core, all postural stability. There we go. One more, because I talk and lose count. Good. Nice. Okay. So think about if your foot's up behind you and we're doing a rear foot elevated squat, how much weight do you want to use? How much weight do I want to use? That's a good question. Here we go. So I've got my 12s. And what you want to do is stand at your chair, whatever you'll put your foot up on, and take 3 steps. And then bring your foot behind you and adjust as needed. Your foot can be flat down. You can press your toes in. And let's hit it. You want to drive that back knee straight down. And let's stop at 8. And then we'll go to side 2. 7, ready? And let's hit it. Down and up. Driving that back knee straight down if you can. Getting a big stretch. Good. Two more. And 8. Nice work. Weights down. Move the bench out of the way. And we're going to come down on the floor. The very first thing we're going to do is an up dog just to stretch out your legs a little bit. Up dog cobra, whatever this is called. This feels good. Up. So, a push-up to a side plank. You could do this from your knees. You could do this from your toes. You can absolutely do this on an incline. So push up, rock both knees. Come up, so you're rotating all the way onto your side. From your toes, we're gonna go for 6 to 8. Feet go all the way on your side, rolling all the way up onto your side. 2, and the count is for the push-ups. Not for the number of times you hit one side. You're doing, and when you're all done, come into child's pose. Looking good. So that's round 1. We have 2 more to go. Shake those arms out. Catch your breath, have a drink. We're gonna wait a whole minute before we get back into this. Give your shoulders a little rest. Oh. Go for another 30. You're keeping track of time. Stretch up your hips. Cat cow. Let's find out one weight you were using for doing windmills, or 2 weights if you're doubling up. We're going to take our feet wider than our shoulders, angle it away from the hand with the weight, make that post, pull that shoulder down, and let's go for 8 on each side. Hip goes out and in, like you're between 2 big panes of glass, or 2 walls. And 8. You're done. All you have to do is switch hands, flip your feet around, rack that weight, and get going. So this is a functional exercise. But thinking about being able to slide down between 2 walls, I don't know what's functional about that. But we're getting everything working, and we're working on a lot of stability here. Make sure you're coming all the way up and not leaving your hip half hitched out. Bring that weight down. Find your place and your weights. We're doing our split squats. So starting, I like to start with my non-dominant leg. We take 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and then put 1 foot up. And that sets you up at the right distance so you don't have to hop your way to happiness. Here we go. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, beautiful. 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Set yourself up. Make sure your foot's in the right spot. And let's hit it. Good. 2. Last one. Weights down. Lift out of the way. Do some butt kicks. Then your arms. Let's take about 30 seconds before we go here. So I lied. I'm going to bring my bench back. I'm going to do this next round on incline, just in case that's something that makes more sense for you today. Also good for me. I got another vaccine yesterday, so my left arm's a little sore. So find your plank on incline or the floor. We're going to do one push-up, and when you roll up to the side, you are perpendicular. Feet are turned, arm is up to the ceiling. There's none of this. We're not just lifting our arm up. Whole body turns. Let's hit it. 8 push-ups. Hold that plank as you're going through this whole thing. And when you're all done, stretch back into child's pose. Arms up, arms down, your choice. 2 rounds down. And you guys are looking great. A great workout. Great strength workout. We're going to take a whole minute here. Check in with your hips, check in with your back and your shoulders. Stretch what needs to be stretched. Grab your water. Adjust your layers. Change your heater, whatever you need to do. Keep your body happy. I don't know what your body's feeling. You do, so you do you. Nice. I'll give you a time warning. You keep moving. We have about 30 seconds left. All right. So last round, I'm gonna go a little bit heavier with my windmills. I was using 12. I'm gonna grab my 15-pound kettlebell. If your shoulders are shot, stay the same or go lighter. Stay the same, do fewer reps. If you're feeling game, use this as your chance to push it. So get yourself into position, rack that weight up, and let's hit it. We're going 8 on each side. 2, good. I see everybody's moving a little bit deeper into these positions too. We've loosened up a little bit. Keep that shoulder pulled down and engaged so your arm is nice and stable. Up to the ceiling. We're going to come back to this kind of stability at the very end of the workout. We have a Turkish Get-Up coming at you. It's been a while since we've done them. Let's rack the weight, post it up, pull that shoulder down, do 8 on side 2. Nice. Arms are nice and straight. Bring that weight down safely. And let's get set up. First, let's squat, pop your hips out, circle it out. Check everything's feeling good. Find our weights. 1, 2, 3. And my foot goes back to change my angle, but there we go. Play around with your toes curled under or your top of your foot flat on the bench. See which feels better to you. Sometimes with shoes on or barefoot, it feels different. And let's hit it. And switch feet. Sometimes you have to feel what's behind you to find the right spot. There you go. And down and up. Last round. Good. Let's put those weights down. Oh, and a visitor who needs to leave. Come on, Finn. Up you go. Come on. Up you go. Good boy. Okay, bench goes out of the way. Notice what you're feeling. Might be feeling a little tension from where we're doing all the side to side work. We've been working all around your hips. Just make some circles, check in that it feels good. And we'll come down on the floor or on an incline. Try not to do it on your knees this time if you can help it. And let's go for anywhere from 6 to 8 push-ups with that big rotation up to a side plank. And here we go. And rotate. 2. When you're all done, pat yourselves on the back and come into child's pose. We're going to stay here for about a minute and a half. You can get up and move. We're going to have a break for a minute and a half. Grab a drink, stretch what needs to be stretched. We've got 4 exercises coming in the next round of our V's. And V1 is one of my favorites. Yeah, these are all some of our favorites. Anyway, my favorites. We're going to do a reverse step down. So we're going to step back, knee towards the floor, and then lift up into an arabesque. So that leg and back lifts up. It's all in the glutes. And you'll see it when we do it. We're going to need a bench or something to lean on. We're going to do a 3-part row where it'll be a wide row, a mid row, and then a row that comes in close to your body, but the weight comes back to your hip. So different angles, and 3 of those is 1 repetition. So you can go as heavy as you want for your back. Your back is strong. I guess the limiting factor is going to be the one where you're pulling back towards your hip. So you can play around with that. We're going to come down on the floor for the last 2 exercises, doing a single leg glute bridge. And we're going to do some banded leg lifts. So you'll have time to find your band if you don't have it near you now, but let's get going. Let me grab a quick sip. And for these, I'm going to take 1 weight and hold it in both hands. And we can play around with this as we go through it. I'm going to start on my non-dominant side and step back and down and then reach forward. So I guess I'll do it from this side. So it's back and down and reach, back and down and reach, You don't have to have that weight. I'll do about 8 on each side. So stepping it back, reach. Lift that leg. Most important, more important than the arms, is squeezing that glute to lift the leg. Bring my bench back into the picture. Oh, what am I going to do? So we're going to set up like we do for all single arm rows. Knee out to the side or knee on the bench. We do a high wide row, a mid row, and then a row to the back. That's one. We're going to go for anywhere from 4 to 6 of these. See what it feels like at your chosen weight. High, wide, about 45 degrees from the mid, and nice and loose, close to the body for the third one. Okay. We'll do one more set, high, wide, mid, and low. And we switch. Okay. I can't see you. Okay, here we go. High, wide, mid to the side, low stays in. Back to the hip. Over. And 4. One more. Up, up, and pull. Nice work. Let's shake those arms out, stretch your back, give yourself a hug. Shake your hips out. Ready to come down on the floor. Any kind of band you've got, bring it with you now. It doesn't matter if it's a flat band or a loop band. We just sit down, reach behind your thighs, let your back stretch into a C. Let's stretch out your back muscles. Let your heart rate come down. Let's roll it down, keeping your knees hugged in. Make little circles. Make sure your back is happy before we move on. Let's take one ankle over the opposite knee. Kind of like we're going to do a piriformis stretch, but we're not. So from here, just kind of butterfly your knee, see what your hip feels like. It's okay if you push your knee away. What I want you to focus on is as we lift, your hips are going to stay even. So let's go for about 6 lifts on each side. Palms up, out to the side, and lift. And let's switch to the other side. Butterfly that knee, loosen up the hip that we're asking to rotate like that as we lift. And get ready, let's do 6 up and down. We're going to take our band, and I have a long one, so I'm going to double it up just because of the length. Doesn't matter how tense it is. What you do is take an overhand grip on either your loop band or your flat band and press your shoulders down into the floor and pull that band apart. We're going to take our legs up. Keeping that band pulled apart, we're going to do scissor legs down and up. 2, 3, 1, and 2 more. And then let go of the band and pull your knees in. Make those little circles, go side to side. Take about a minute, and then we'll start those 4 exercises again with our reverse step down to an arabesque. I think I was missing a step the last time I did it. I would step back and down and come back up. I never brought my feet back together. Let's see what it feels like if we do that. So we got time. I need a drink. Your hips are going to need a little rest. My hips feel like they need a rest already. Alrighty. So let's start with your non-dominant leg first. That's where actually most of the work is happening. Has to hold you steady. We're going to keep the weight, if you're using a weight, up at your chest. Then it's going to press forward as you lift your leg. So we're going to step back and reach. Step back and reach. Lift that leg, squeeze that glute. The hips are really active during this. Let's do 2 more. Beautiful. Bring that weight down. Shake those hips out. On to side 2. Here we go. Step it back and reach. 2. Lift that leg up. Good. And put that weight down. Find your weight. Get set up for doing those 3-way rows. Maybe a little bit lighter. I was over ambitious that last round. I'm going to scale it back a little bit. And I'm going to start non-dominant. Meaning my left side, because I'm not left-handed. Okay? So high wide row, mid row, pull that weight back towards your hip. Let's go for 6 this time if we can. It's a lot of rowing. Nice. You notice on that last one by your hip, it feels like you're doing triceps. And indeed, you are. Okay, catch your breath. Let's set up on side 2. See if we can do 6 sets or the same number of sets on this side. So high wide row, mid row, and back. High wide, mid, and back. Always leading with your back, not just pulling with your arm and your rotator cuff. and 6, and 6. Let's put that weight down. And put bench out of the way. Down on the floor. Single leg bridge. We're going to do leg lock. Leg lock means you're hugging one leg into your chest. If it's not comfortable holding your chin, you can hold behind your knee. That's fine. Either way, your knee is tucked into your chest and it's not going to move. So stretch your other leg out so your knee is about 90 degrees. You don't want your heel right by your butt. You want it out a little farther. And then from here, we lift. Now we're going to go for anywhere from 6 to 8. See what it feels like. I want you pressing into your toes and your whole foot to lift up. And you might notice that you're not lifting nearly as high doing it this way. And that's because you can't. We're locking your hips into a position where it makes it very hard to lift high. Let's go side 2, lifting up and down. 6 and 8. When you're all done, hug your knees in. Come into a nice long pencil stretch. Grab a band. Take a nice overhead grip. Pull that band apart. Legs come up. We're going for 12 scissors. Straight leg down and up. Down and up. Your back is nice and flat on the floor. And rest. We have one more round, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. One more round. We'll finish with a couple of half get-ups. And then we'll stretch. So we are almost done. Stay with me. I don't know where the last 45 minutes went to. It's like, cool. And it's over. So one more round. Let your back stretch, let it round. Give your legs a stretch, whatever they need. And when we get up, I'm going to stay here for another 15 seconds or so. We'll find our weights and we will get ready to do our step backs to arabesques. Okay. That's the camera. Find your weights, find your spot on the floor. And let's get started. So step back to an arabesque. We can come back to here and then step back to arabesque. I'm not sure it adds anything. And shake your hips out. We'll go to side 2. So stepping it back and reaching, making your body nice and long. Long, tall, strong. Use your breath. And bring the weight down. Check it out. I need a quick drink. You can grab one too. Last round of rows. Your choice, go heavier or lighter. Tell you, 3 rows being 1 rep. It adds up. There's no crying or shame or anything. Going lighter. Okay. And if it's too heavy, finish when you're finished. Don't try to push it. There's no benefit to getting hurt. So high, wide, mid, and low. 5, 2. One more set. Up and done. Good. Nice work. On to side 2. Okay, elbow out to the side, high, wide, mid, all the way back to the hip. 2. 3. 4. 5. I'm feeling it. Stay with me. 1 more if you can. 2. Excellent work. Take our hands on our knees. Let's try standing cat-cow. You need to let all that tension go out of your back. We're holding things pretty rigid. We're doing a lot of postural control. Switch one shoulder down, switch the other shoulder down. I move my bench out of the way. That's the angle of my camera, and we come meet you on the floor. Okay. Let's reach underneath your knees. Let your back pull back into a nice round C. And then let's actually go in a different direction for a change. Let's do some windshield wipers, feet down or tabletop, your choice. Okay, last round of single leg bridges. You're just going to take one leg up. That's all. No controls. Your foot can wobble, it can move, it can do whatever it's going to do. But your hips are going up and down. Let's do 6 on each side. 6, 5, press through your whole foot. 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Up, and up. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hug your knees in. We're going to switch this one up too. So your knees can be bent or your legs can be straight, whatever floats your boat. We're still taking a band and grabbing it. But what we're going to do is try to reach. So head, neck, and shoulders. You're going to try to keep space between your chin and your chest. Then you lift, you're just peeling up off the ground. And we're going to go for 10 crunches like this. You got your knees, you're still reaching for your toes. You try to lasso your toes. And then we're all done. Bring those knees in. And we have one last thing to try, if you're game. Our Turkish get-ups. Remember, we did our windmills with the shoulder stability. Same exact thing, except we're going to hold that stability when we get partway up from the floor. So grab a weight or a shoe. It doesn't have to be heavy. I find it helps have something to grip. with your hand to create that posture. So your arm is going to be a post, shoulders into the floor, hands to the ceiling. That knee is bent about 90 degrees. Your other arm and leg are out about 45. We're going to take a big breath to prepare, and then exhale, roll up onto that elbow. Woo! Trying to keep that weight up to the ceiling. I just wobbled in a big way. And up onto your hand. Up into a modified half bridge. And then we're going to come down, bring that elbow down, and carefully roll it down. So you don't want to lose this. And we're going to try that one more time, see if I can do it without wobbling so much. Here we go. Big inhale and exhale. Here we go. Up onto your hand. Up into that half bridge. Bring that hip down, elbow down, and all the way down. Let's switch sides. Turn around so I can still see the screen. The other arm is a post, your other knee is bent. Opposite arm and leg are out, 45 degrees. Calm down, take a big breath in. And let's roll it up onto your elbow. Come up onto your hand. Into that half bridge, hold it. Drop your hip down, bring your elbow down, and come all the way down. The last time we're doing it. Rolling up onto your hand, lifting that hip up as high as you can, even if it's an inch, it counts. Bring it down and all the way down. My arms are wobbling so badly. We have worked. Let's give ourselves a nice big pencil stretch. And then go into a crescent stretch and just stretch through your whole body. We are all done with the work. All done. Try to slow your breathing down. Turkish Get-Up is one exercise where everybody says, I can't believe my heart rate gets up so high when I do it. It's because you're working just about every muscle in your body. Come back to center. Take your legs and your arms to the other side. Nice big side bend stretch on side two. And let's come back to center. If we bend our knees and you cross your left leg over your right, let's twist down to the left. With the weight of your leg, give your right hip a nice big stretch. And come back to center. And let's twist down to the right. You can use your hand to add a little bit of pressure to your leg. Give yourself a stretch through your left side. And come back to center and hug both legs in. See if you can flatten your back out into the floor. Every exhale, see if you can relax all the muscles that we worked. And then let's switch sides. So you can take right leg over left. Let the weight of your right leg stretch your left hip open. It's kind of where your IT band is. Up to center, and we'll twist the other way. Your legs stay the same. Use your arm, add a little bit of traction. Stretch across your right hip. You might feel that all the way up into your back, to your shoulder. Depends on how tight you are. So take a couple of breaths here, see if you can relax into everything. And then come back to center and hug both legs in. Let's come all the way over onto one side, do an open book stretch. So curl up into the fetal position. We're going to take that top arm and try to open up. Use the bottom arm to keep your knees stacked. Legs can be straight, legs can be bent. You do you, see what feels good to you. Stretch the shoulders, stretch the chest muscles. Relax your neck. Relax your back. Use every exhale to bring your shoulder just a millimeter closer to the floor, if it's not already there. And then carefully come up to the other side. And we'll do the same thing on side two. Whoop, a little tighter, you can hear my voice catching. So work with your breath. Let the shoulder melt down. Create space through your torso. Your ribcage can expand so you can breathe, so you can talk. Pops out. And then come back to center. Feet are wider than your hips. Let's take your knees side to side. One more each way, and then we're going to roll all the way over. And come into child's pose with the thread the needle. So we're going to keep stretching your back. Try to bring your hips down and your head down. Find a position where your shoulder is getting a good stretch. And then let's change sides. Come up onto hands and knees. Let's make some big restorative circles. Up your hips with your back. Back with your hips. Let's go both directions. And it is almost 8:15. And we are done. Nice work. See you on Thursday.